office is there. Sorry, oh, record not started, right? It's not recording, right?
It's recording.
Oh, not.
Welcome back to the seminar. Our last speaker for today's seminar is Mr. Richard Ho. He's the National Technology Officer of Microsoft Singapore. In this role, he engages with key executive leaders across government, industry, and academia, bringing the macro technology landscape and helping customers leverage technology innovation for their digital transformation. His focus includes harnessing the transformational potential of technology to guide technology policies, standards, legal and regulatory matters such as security, privacy, and compliance decisions. Without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Cole on stage to share with us on cybersecurity in the fourth industry revolution. Mr. Cole, please.
Try this one because I'm used to more of the pacing. So, good morning, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to come up this Saturday morning for this talk. So, thanks to my previous two speakers, Yvonne and Lawrence. They have elevated the collective knowledge of cybersecurity in this room. So that's great, and makes my job a lot easier that way. Just by way of introduction, Richard Crow, been at Microsoft, been at Singtel before. I started my career with Microsoft in Redmond in the US. So if you know the product Office 365, I was part of the first team that built it back in 2007. So have a lot of experience doing this stuff, and built one of the largest cloud service on the planet. So it's really been a fun journey, and being back here in Singapore, it's great because I get to interact with a lot of my friends, catch up with family, but at the same time, sharing with industry what's happening in this landscape right now. So with this slide, I think there's no need to labor on it in terms of the amount of threats and damages that cybersecurity and cyber attacks has created in our landscape itself. So you know that there is a kind of scourge we have to deal with today. And when we think about it over at Microsoft, but also at the same time, what everybody collectively here who's in the industry. It's really around this sense of relative certainty itself. All right, we believe that there will always be geopolitical changes. I think with Brexit and what just happened earlier this week in the US, it's interesting, depending on which political affiliation you have to. I'm not going to comment on that, but. I think the technology landscape has also changed very rapidly, and what I want to do in today's talk is really to talk about cybersecurity really in the context of the fourth industrial revolution itself. And what I mean by that later on in the talk itself, I'll take you through. I think some of you have heard that word quite a fair bit. What is this fourth industrial revolution is, and I think it's good to put it into the context of what we are doing at Microsoft, but also how collectively as an industry we need to be able to come together and work together to respond to that as well. Now, this is not threats. I don't need to elaborate on that. Again, thanks to my previous speakers. They've done a great job of sharing with you all those threats that has been happening and things like that, right? So we do see all of that as well. At Microsoft, we operate the third largest network in the world. So if you think about that, the amount of surface area that we have when we monitor across the world itself, the threats that are coming from different parts of the world, we can literally see almost everything. And that's the scale that the company operate at, and unfortunately, that's the scale that some of these cyber criminals operate at as well. In the previous talk that I attended, it was very cool. One of the speakers was talking about this, and I'll leverage some of the words. Some of the cyber criminals probably have a COO or maybe a CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. They sell their ransomware online, things like that. Right? So they are very well funded, they are very well organized. So do not underestimate. But at the same time, you also have criminals on the other end of the spectrum. It's just somebody downloading a script and then trying to create some malice on your infrastructure itself. So the whole spectrum is really crazy. So I think when we think about this, it's very simple in terms of the personal level of how you take care of cyber security and so things like this, right? Default password. You heard about the DDoS attacks that happened over the last couple of weeks about some office devices that have default passwords not set or things like that, and then they got used and they got marshaled to attack a DNS provider, for example. So what you share on social media, how you use public Wi-Fi, things like that. I think collectively we have to pause and think about some of this. How do we use some of this technology, and what are we exposing out there? Those are challenges that needs to be addressed. Those are considerations that it matters for everyone. So it's everybody's responsibility, the way I like to say. So, and again, I think Lawrence mentioned it, one of the biggest things is sometimes the human itself. It's not the technology. Think about Edward Snowden. So I like to always say Edward Snowden has literally changed the trajectory of how we think about information technology for the next 5, 10, 15 years itself, right? It's an internal leak. So sometimes the weakest link itself is the internal employee itself. So unfortunately, that can happen, and that's something that needs to be addressed as well. Now, I'd like to just preface the next part of my talk around this notion of disruption itself. So, you heard earlier this year, Prime Minister Lee talked about what we face. It's a constant set of disruptions. So, not just disruption from a geopolitical perspective, but also from a technology landscape perspective as well. Like, it impacts jobs, it impacts people's access to technology, it impacts income equality, and like I mentioned earlier, some of the geopolitical changes that has happened in Europe and the US itself, some of that is the effects of that. Some of that is the effects of that inequality that's happening in society itself.